roof of Africa, a land of extremes. While the rest of the continent moves with the rhythms of migration seasons, on this isolated highland, survival is a fierce, solitary battle. At altitudes where the air grows thin and bone-chilling cold rains, Ethiopia's animals have evolved in the most extraordinary ways to endure. We often think we know everything about Africa's wildlife, but this isolated kingdom will prove us wrong. In this episode, we will venture into forbidden lands, decode the most extreme survival tactics, and witness creatures you cannot find anywhere else on Earth. Now, the hunt begins. Ethiopia, the most isolated wildlife kingdom in Africa. Ethiopia rises like a colossal mountain massif, towering above the rest of the African continent. While most of Africa is known for vast plains, scorching deserts, or endless savannas, Ethiopia possesses an entirely different world. The country holds more than 80% of all land in Africa, lying above 3,000 meters in elevation, which is why it has long been called the roof of Africa. Altitude has altered every familiar rule of the tropics. Although it lies near the equator, where one would expect year-round heat, many areas on the Ethiopian plateau have unbelievably cold climates. When the sun sets, temperatures frequently drop below freezing. During the day, intense sunlight with powerful radiation beats down through the thin layer of atmosphere. At night, heat quickly radiates into space, causing frost to blanket the mountain slopes in white. Air at elevations above 3,000 meters is also about 30% thinner than at sea level. Every breath becomes more laborious. Thick mists frequently shroud the mountain peaks in the morning, then gradually dissipate under the sun before reappearing in the late afternoon. Rain, fog, strong winds, and temperature swings can occur within just a few hours, creating one of the harshest and most unpredictable environments in Africa. These very conditions have given rise to the concept biologists call sky islands, islands in the clouds. These are not islands in the ocean, but isolated high mountain blocks rising above a sea of hot lowlands. For many animals and plants adapted only to cold climates, these mountain regions are like true islands. They cannot cross hundreds of kilometers of scorching plains to reach another peak. Over millions of years, each mountain summit has become its own separate world. Isolated populations have evolved in different directions, producing a vast number of endemic species found nowhere else on Earth. Today, Ethiopia is regarded as one of the largest and most important sky island systems on the planet, a place that preserves natural evolution laboratories, still operating ceaselessly. To understand why Ethiopia possesses these unique biological islands, we must turn back tens of millions of years. Deep beneath the Earth's crust, the planet's tectonic plates began to move. As the African plates slowly pulled apart, the crust stretched, cracked, and uplifted. This process created one of the greatest geological wonders on Earth, the Great Rift Valley, the East African Rift. This fault system stretches more than 6,000 kilometers from the Middle East down to Mozambique. Ethiopia sits right at one of its most active points. For millions of years, enormous lava flows erupted continuously, covering the surface with layers of basalt hundreds of meters thick. At the same time, uplifting forces from below pushed the entire region upward, forming the majestic Ethiopian highlands. As the Rift Valley widened, the plateau was split into two major mountain blocks. To the north lies the Simien Range, famous for its sheer cliffs, deep gorges, and peaks rising above 14,760 feet. To the southeast lies the Bale Plateau, where Afro-alpine grasslands stretch across elevations above 13,123 feet, interspersed with marshes, glacial streams, and pristine cloud forests. Between these two mountain regions lie systems of valleys, lakes, and hot lowlands that act as enormous natural barriers. For humans, crossing a few hundred kilometers might take only a few hours. But for small animals or plants adapted solely to cold climates, that distance is nearly impossible to overcome. This geographical isolation lasting millions of years has turned each highland into an independent evolution laboratory. Originally similar populations gradually changed under the influence of different climates, food sources, and survival pressures. Over generations, they accumulated genetic changes until they became entirely new species. This is why Ethiopia today has one of the highest rates of endemic species in Africa. Many mammals, birds, plants, and insects exist only on a few isolated mountains and nowhere else in the world. It is the slow but persistent movement of the Earth's crust that laid the foundation for one of the most unique ecosystems on the planet. On the vast grasslands of the Simien Mountains, as the morning mist slowly lifts under the sunlight, hundreds and then thousands of reddish-brown figures begin to appear on the slopes. From afar, they resemble flocks of sheep, leisurely grazing. But as you approach, you realize they are one of the most remarkable primate species in the world, the gelada baboons. Geladas live only on the Ethiopian highlands, mainly at elevations from 6,562 feet to more than 13,123 feet. This is an endemic primate you will not encounter in the wild in any other country. What makes geladas unique is not their appearance, but their diet. While most monkeys eat fruit, leaves, insects, or hunt small animals, the gelada is the only primate in the world that lives primarily on grass. About 90% of their diet consists of soft grasses, grass seeds, and young roots growing on the Afro-alpine meadows. For this reason, many scientists even call them grass-grazing monkeys. Every day, geladas spend 8 to 10 hours just foraging. The entire troop moves slowly in long lines across the slopes. They rarely climb trees, as nearly their entire lives take place on the ground. With their characteristic sitting posture, legs tucked under the body, geladas continuously bend their heads to the grass, using incredibly dexterous fingers to pluck each blade with precision. Although food is relatively abundant, obtaining enough energy on the cold, high mountains still requires persistence. That is why most of the gelada's daytime is spent grazing, resting, and then grazing again. From above, the moving herds of geladas look like synchronized brown waves rolling across the green carpet of grass. But what truly amazes scientists is their social structure. Geladas possess one of the most complex social systems in the animal kingdom. The basic unit is a small family consisting of one adult male, several females, and their offspring. Many families combine into larger groups. These groups then link together to form enormous troops. Under favorable conditions, dozens of groups can gather into super troops with more than 1,000 individuals. Some places have recorded nearly 1,500 animals foraging together on a single slope. This is one of the largest primate troops ever recorded on Earth. Living in such crowded communities requires exceptional communication skills. Geladas are considered one of the primate species with the richest vocal repertoire outside of humans. Researchers have recorded dozens of different call types used to summon the troop, warn of danger, calm infants, show submission, or maintain relationships between members. They communicate not only through sound but also through eye contact, facial expressions, body postures, and subtle gestures. One of the most familiar behaviors is mutual grooming. This activity is not merely for cleaning fur, but also a way to strengthen bonds, reduce stress, and maintain community cohesion. If there is one symbol representing the gelada, it is the red, hourglass-shaped patch of skin on the chest. In males, this area is always prominent with a deep red color. In females, its hue changes with the reproductive cycle. During estrus, the skin becomes a brighter red, surrounded by small nodules resembling beads, a biological signal that helps males recognize the right time for mating. This is one of the rare traits among primates, and the reason geladas are often called red-chested monkeys. In the world of geladas, family is the foundation of all activities. Infants are born with dark black fur and cling tightly to their mother's belly during the first months of life. As they grow, they shift to riding on their mother's back during foraging trips. Not only the mother, but other females in the group also participate in caring for the young. This phenomenon, called allomaternal care, gives mothers more time to forage while increasing the survival rate of offspring in the harsh, high mountain conditions. Young geladas grow up surrounded by the entire community. They learn to communicate, forage, recognize danger, and build social relationships from a very early age. Thanks to this strong family system, geladas have survived on the Ethiopian highlands for hundreds of thousands of years, despite freezing temperatures, rugged terrain, and environmental changes. Hidden among the majestic Simien Mountains is one of Africa's rarest animals. They do not live on broad grasslands, nor hide in dense forests. Their home is sheer cliffs, hundreds of feet high, where a single misstep can mean death. This is the Walia ibex, Ethiopia's endemic mountain goat and one of the rarest goat species in the world. Unlike many ibex species found across Europe or Central Asia, the Walia ibex survives in the wild, only in Simien Mountains National Park, in northern Ethiopia. Their entire population lives in a relatively small mountain area, making them one of the mammals with the narrowest distribution range in Africa. Millions of years of geographical isolation have caused the Walia ibex to evolve in its own direction, perfectly adapted to the treacherous Rocky Mountain environment. They are therefore seen as a symbol of the sky islands, biological islands isolated amid seas of clouds. The first thing that impresses about the Walia ibex is their almost unimaginable mobility. While humans need ropes and specialized equipment to navigate sheer cliffs, Walia ibex can nimbly walk along ledges only a few inches wide. They climb slopes steeper than 70 degrees, and even traverse nearly vertical cliffs with astonishing calm. Every step is so precise, it seems they have memorized every small crevice on the rock face. This extraordinary ability comes from the special structure of their hooves. Each hoof consists of two parts. The hard, sharp outer edge acts like a small hook, gripping ledges firmly. The soft central pad works like a non-slip rubber layer, increasing friction on smooth rock surfaces. The two halves can spread or close depending on the terrain, helping distribute body weight and provide stability even when standing on a very small foothold. In addition, strong leg muscles, flexible tendons, and excellent balance allow them to make leaps several yards between rock outcrops with almost no loss of control. For Walia ibex, the precarious cliffs are not obstacles but the safest place to survive. The very rugged terrain has become a natural fortress, protecting them from predators. Leopards, hyenas, and Ethiopian wolves are formidable hunters. However, when detected, Walia ibex rarely flee toward the plains. Instead, the whole herd immediately dashes up the steep slopes at astonishing speed. Predators may run faster on flat ground, but they are nearly helpless when trying to follow paths only as wide as a foot on the cliffs. Terrain that most other animals consider dangerous is the Walia ibex's greatest advantage. During the day, they usually forage on gentler slopes where there is plenty of grass, shrubs, and high-altitude plants. When danger is sensed, the herd quickly retreats to high rocky outcrops to rest and observe the surroundings. From those positions, they can detect the slightest movements in the valley below before the threat draws near. Walia ibex are herbivores. Their diet includes mountain grasses, leaves, young shoots, lichens, and shrubs growing in rock crevices. Their ability to utilize nutrient-poor food sources allows them to survive where very few animals can. But life on the Rocky Mountains is not always peaceful. Each year, when the breeding season arrives, the atmosphere on the Simien slopes becomes more vibrant than ever. Adult males begin competing for the right to mate with the females in the herd. Their most striking feature is a pair of long, curved horns that can reach nearly 3 feet in length. These horns are not only weapons, but also symbols of age, strength, and status. When two equally powerful males meet, they stand facing each other, back up to gain momentum, and then charge forward at high speed. The sound of two sets of horns clashing echoes throughout the cliffs. These duels can last many minutes or even hours. Each opponent repeatedly backs up, accelerates, and collides forcefully to force the other to yield. Although the impacts are very violent, the skull structure and horn bases of the Walia ibex have evolved to absorb most of the force, reducing the risk of serious injury. Usually, the loser will voluntarily retreat before sustaining severe wounds. while the victorious male earns the right to lead the group of females during the breeding season. At the end of the rainy season, the young are born one after another on the high slopes. Within just a few hours, they can stand firmly on their tiny legs and follow their mothers along the precarious paths. Survival instinct forces them to learn balance almost immediately, as even a small mistake can send them plunging into the abyss. During the first months of life, the young stay close to their mothers and the herd. The vigilance of the adults helps detect danger from afar, while the rocky mountain terrain continues to serve as an effective shield against predators. Today, the Walia ibex remains one of the most important symbols of Simien Mountains National Park and a living testament to the power of evolution on the islands in the sky. Behind the large herds of gelada baboons, or the mighty Walia ibex, lies a small but incredibly important world. These are small birds, highland rodents, lizards, frogs, and countless insects. They rarely appear in spectacular footage, but they are indispensable links that keep the entire Sky Islands ecosystem functioning smoothly. In nature, size does not determine importance. Sometimes, the survival of an entire ecosystem depends on creatures weighing only a few ounces. Every morning, as the sun rises over the Simien and Bale peaks, bird song echoes across the grasslands and cloud forests. Many species of mountain sparrows, seed eaters, and insectivores live year-round on the cold highlands. They do not possess the brilliant plumage of tropical birds, but they are perfectly adapted to the harsh environment. Thick feathers help retain heat during freezing nights, while their compact bodies help conserve energy when food becomes scarce. During the day, they constantly fly between bushes, grasslands, and cloud forests in search of seeds, insects, and larvae. In the process, these birds unintentionally disperse seeds to different areas, helping regenerate vegetation on the slopes. Some species also play a role in controlling insect populations, preventing outbreaks that could harm plants. Their songs not only signal the start of a new day, but also reflect the health of the entire mountain ecosystem. Hidden beneath the Afro-alpine grasses is the world of highland rodents. At first glance, they appear ordinary, like many other rodents. In reality, they are an important food source for many endemic predators in Ethiopia. During the day, they dig burrows underground or hide in rock crevices to avoid the cold and predators. When the weather cools, they emerge to search for grass seeds, roots, and young plant parts. While digging, they inadvertently loosen the soil, allowing rainwater to penetrate more easily and creating conditions for seeds to germinate. Their small burrows also become shelters for many insects, reptiles, and other invertebrates. Most importantly, highland rodents are intermediate links in the food chain. Without them, many predators would lack a stable food source. Conversely, if rodent numbers grow too high, they could consume large amounts of seeds and young plants. It is this balance between prey and predators that has kept the ecosystem stable for thousands of years. As the sun begins to warm the rocks after a cold night, mountain lizards slowly emerge from their hiding places. As cold-blooded animals, they rely on sunlight to regulate body temperature. After a few hours absorbing heat on the rock slabs, the lizards become more active, swiftly hunting ants, beetles, spiders, and many small insects. In doing so, they help control the numbers of invertebrates in the wild. In return, they themselves become prey for birds of prey, snakes, and small carnivores. In Ethiopia, many mountain reptile species have evolved to withstand wide temperature swings between day and night. During the day, rock surfaces can heat up sharply under the sun, but at night they drop near freezing. This adaptability is the result of millions of years of evolution on the islands in the sky. Hidden beside small streams, marshes, and always damp areas are the highland frogs. Though rarely seen, they are among the most sensitive animal groups to environmental changes. Frog skin is very thin and can absorb water directly from the surroundings. Therefore, even slight increases in temperature, polluted water sources, or changes in humidity affect frog populations first. Biologists often view frogs as biological clocks of the ecosystem. When frog numbers decline, it is usually a sign that the environment is in trouble. In addition to their role as indicator species, frogs consume large quantities of mosquitoes, flies, and many other insects, helping maintain balance in the mountain ecosystem. If you look closely at every flower bush or blade of grass on the Ethiopian highlands, you will discover countless insect species at work. Bees, butterflies, hoverflies, beetles, ants, and thousands of others form a world almost invisible to humans. Many endemic plants in Ethiopia depend entirely on them for reproduction. As bees and butterflies fly from one flower to another to drink nectar, pollen sticks to their bodies and is carried to the next flowers. This pollination process helps plants produce seeds and maintain their lineages. Without pollinating insects, many plant species could not reproduce, leading to declines in herbivores and then predators. Moreover, countless insects participate in decomposing leaves, animal carcasses, and organic matter. They return nutrients to the soil, allowing plants to continue growing and beginning a new cycle of life. From a tiny sparrow, a burrowing rodent, a sun-basking lizard, to a bee-seeking flower nectar, all are indispensable links in Ethiopia's web of life. Birds disperse seeds, rodents loosen soil and feed predators. Lizards and frogs control insect populations. Bees and butterflies handle pollination. Insects decompose organic matter and regenerate soil nutrients. Each species performs its own task, but all are tightly interconnected. If even one link weakens, the entire system can be affected in a domino effect. That is the wonder of Ethiopia's Sky Islands. A world where balance is not created by giant animals, but is maintained daily by countless small, quiet, and nearly invisible residents. They are the true keepers that have kept the roof of Africa full of life through millions of years of evolution. In the clear skies above the Simien Mountains, where sheer cliffs pierce through the clouds and deep gorges carve up the Ethiopian highlands, a giant bird silhouette silently glides on rising thermals, its long wings spread wide, almost without flapping, carrying it for hours over the high cliffs. From below, It looks like a glider drifting through the sky. This is the lammergeier, also known as the bearded vulture, one of the strangest birds of prey in the world. With a wingspan from 7 feet 7 inches to more than 9 feet 2 inches, the lammergeier is one of the largest birds living in the mountain regions of Africa, Europe, and Asia. In Ethiopia, the treacherous cliffs of the Samian Range are one of the most ideal places for them to nest and forage. Unlike eagles, lammergeiers rarely hunt healthy prey. Unlike other vultures, they do not crowd around carcasses to fight over leftover meat. What makes the lammergeier truly unique is that their favorite food is not meat, but bones. 70 to 90% of the lammergeier's diet consists of animal bones, but the bones of antelopes, mountain goats, or large mammals are usually too hard to swallow. Lammergeiers have developed an incredibly intelligent foraging strategy. They fly up to heights of dozens or even hundreds of feet, find bare rock slabs on the slopes, and drop the bone. The process may be repeated many times until the bone shatters into small pieces. Scientists call the places where lammergeiers frequently do this bone-breaking sites. Over many years, hundreds of white bone fragments accumulate at the base of the cliffs, becoming a distinctive sign of this special bird's presence. The lammergeier's stomach contains extremely strong acid with a pH of about 1, nearly equivalent to the stomach acid of many large carnivorous mammals. This environment can dissolve hard bone fragments in just about 1 day. Thus, they absorb large amounts of calcium, phosphorus, and especially bone marrow, the fattiest and most energy-rich part left after other animals have eaten the meat. This seemingly worthless food source allows lammergeiers to face almost no competition from any other bird species. It is a perfect example of specialization in evolution. To find food, lammergeiers may fly dozens of miles each day. Their long wings and ability to use thermals rising from the mountain slopes let them glide with almost no effort. From above, their sharp eyes can spot a small bone fragment amid the grass or on rocky outcrops. Lammergeier nests are usually built on precarious rock ledges that almost no mammal can reach. They are monogamous and often maintain lifelong pair bonds. Each breeding season, the pair repairs the old nest with branches, dry grass, and animal fur before laying eggs. Raising chicks lasts many months and requires both parents to continuously search for food across the vast mountain ranges. But the most important role of the lammergeier is as nature's sanitation workers. After lions, leopards, hyenas, or other vultures have left, the remaining skeletons still contain many nutrients. Without species specialized in handling these leftovers, animal carcasses would linger longer in the environment, fostering disease. Lammergeiers perform a task no other species takes on. They collect seemingly useless bone fragments, turn them into energy for themselves, and simultaneously help recycle minerals back into nature. In this way, the decomposition cycle in the mountain ecosystem is completed. In Ethiopia's vast blue skies, the lammergeier is neither the fastest bird nor the fiercest predator. But through a unique survival strategy unprecedented in the bird world, they have turned what every other species leaves behind into their own source of life. Above the Ethiopian highlands, rising columns of warm air from the cliffs create sky highways, that allow large birds to glide for dozens of miles with almost no wing beats. With just a few wing tilts, they can rise thousands of feet to survey the entire valley below. Ruling the skies is the Faroe's eagle, a predator specialized in ambushing from cliffs and diving at extreme speeds to catch small mammals like rock hyraxes and highland rodents. Alongside it is the golden eagle, one of the most powerful eagle species in the world, capable of hunting large birds, rabbits, and even the young of hoofed animals. Higher up, griffon vultures continuously circle in search of carcasses. With extremely keen eyesight, they can spot a dead animal from many miles away and quickly gather in large groups, sometimes followed by lammergeiers, famous for their bone-eating habits, patiently waiting for other vultures to finish before carrying the remaining bones aloft to shatter them. Although each species exploits different food sources, Ethiopia's skies are still a place of constant competition. They compete for nesting cliffs, hunting territories, and sometimes appear together around a single carcass. However, this division of food resources among eagles, vultures, and lammergeiers has allowed many large bird species to coexist on the islands in the sky, creating one of the most diverse and impressive communities of birds of prey in Africa. Amid the mist-covered Afro-alpine grasslands of the Bale and Simeon plateaus, a reddish-orange figure silently crosses the slopes. Its graceful gait and perpetually erect ears listen for the slightest sound beneath the grass. This is the Ethiopian wolf, the world's rarest wolf species, and one of the most critically endangered carnivores on the planet. Today, fewer than 500 Ethiopian wolves remain in the wild. They are scattered across a few isolated highlands in Ethiopia, at elevations from 9,843 feet to more than 14,764 feet. Each population lives as if on its own, island in the sky, separated by hot lowland regions they cannot cross. Although called a wolf, their appearance differs greatly from the gray wolves familiar in North America or Europe. Ethiopian wolves have slender bodies, long legs, high necks, and pointed muzzles, more like a fox than a wolf. Their bright reddish fur covers most of the body, accented by a white belly, white chin, and black-tipped tail. This coloration helps them blend into the golden brown grasses of the highlands, giving them an advantage when approaching prey. Unlike many wolf species that hunt in packs to take down large animals, the Ethiopian wolf is a solitary hunter. Their main food source is underground rodents, especially the giant mole rat, the Ethiopian giant mole rat. This endemic rodent can weigh nearly 2 pounds and digs complex tunnel systems beneath the Afro-alpine grasslands. Ethiopian wolves spend most of the day slowly walking across the grasslands, their ears constantly listening for the faintest sounds from underground. When they detect prey digging or surfacing to feed, they dash forward at incredible speed, using their long muzzle and sharp teeth to snatch the prey in an instant. An adult can catch dozens of rodents in a single day, helping control rodent populations and maintain balance in the mountain ecosystem. Because they depend almost entirely on this special food source, Ethiopian wolves can only survive on the cold highlands, where giant mole rats and other highland rodents live in high densities. When the first rays of sunlight touch the Afro-alpine grasslands, the Ethiopian wolves begin a new day. Before dispersing to forage, the pack members perform a very characteristic morning greeting ritual. They approach one another, sniff noses, lick faces, wag tails, and emit short whines and howls to strengthen bonds within the pack. This is not just a greeting, but also a way to confirm each individual's position in the social order. Afterward, the whole pack patrols their territory together. They move along familiar boundaries, marking them with urine, feces, and scents from glands on their bodies. Patrolling warns other wolf packs that the area is claimed and checks for intruders. Each territory usually covers grasslands rich in mole rats and other rodents, the precious food source that determines the pack's survival. Unlike gray wolves that often hunt in groups, Ethiopian wolves mainly hunt alone. After finishing patrol, each individual spreads out across the wide grasslands, walking silently with ears always pricked forward to listen for sounds beneath the ground. When they detect a giant mole rat or highland rodent that has just emerged from its burrow, they dash forward at incredible speed and end the hunt in just a few seconds. By afternoon, the members return to the gathering point to rest and interact with one another. During the breeding season, the pack's rhythm changes to prioritize caring for the young. Breeding dens are usually placed in secluded spots among grass thickets or hillsides. In the first few weeks, the mother wolf stays almost constantly with the pups, while other adults take turns bringing food back. They regurgitate partially digested food to feed the young that cannot yet hunt for themselves. What is special is that the pack always has babysitters. These are usually young females or males that have not yet bred, but actively guard the den, keep watch, and play with the pups while the mother forages. This collective caregiving behavior increases the pup's survival rate in the harsh, high mountain environment. The entire life of the Ethiopian wolf is sustained by a strict social order. Each pack usually has a dominant breeding pair that leads, and is the only pair to produce offspring in most breeding seasons. The remaining members cooperate to defend the territory, help raise the young, and respect their positions in the pack. It is this cohesion and discipline that has helped the world's rarest wolf species survive for thousands of years on Ethiopia's islands in the sky, where every day of survival is a challenge. In the wild, predators and primates are usually wary of each other, but on the Ethiopian highlands, a very special relationship exists that is rarely found anywhere else on Earth. It is the relationship between the Ethiopian wolf and the gelada baboon. When a wolf approaches, instead of panicking and fleeing, the gelada troop calmly continues grazing. The wolf can walk right through hundreds of baboons, even just a few yards away, without encountering any strong reaction. The reason is that gelada understand they are not prey for Ethiopian wolves. With a diet consisting almost entirely of mole rats and small rodents, this wolf species poses no significant threat to adult baboons. In return, Ethiopian wolves take advantage of the gelada troop's presence to aid their hunting. When hundreds of baboons move and graze, they disturb the vegetation layer, causing giant mole rats and highland rodents to lose vigilance or emerge from their burrow entrances. Hidden among the gelada troop, the wolf attracts less attention and can approach prey at very close range before launching a sudden attack. Thanks to this strategy, the Ethiopian wolf's hunting success rate is recorded as higher than when hunting alone on open grasslands. For the geladas, the wolf's presence causes almost no losses to the troop. Therefore, they accept this special neighbor, continuing to share the highland meadows. Biologists consider this one of the rarest mutualistic relationships between two wild mammal species. It is not deliberate cooperation, but the result of long-term evolution, where both species have learned to coexist and unintentionally benefit each other. On the Ethiopian highlands, nature operates according to its own unique rhythm. There are no distinct four seasons of spring, summer, fall, and winter, like in many parts of the world. Instead, the entire ecosystem is governed by two contrasting periods, the rainy season and the dry season. These two seasons are like the heartbeat of the roof of Africa, determining when life explodes and when all species must enter a period of challenge. When the first rains arrive, the Ethiopian highlands seem to come back to life. Moisture from the Indian Ocean rides the monsoon winds across the mountain ranges, bringing rains that nourish the grasslands and cloud forests. Within just a few weeks, slopes that were once barren begin to be covered in fresh green. Afro-alpine grasses grow rapidly, giant lobelias rise high amid the mist, and helichrysum bushes bloom white across the mountainsides. The change in vegetation signals the start of a new cycle of life. Insects appear in large numbers to drink nectar and pollinate flowers. Bees, butterflies, beetles, and countless other invertebrates become busier than ever. Beneath the softened soil after the rains, highland rodents and giant mole rats dig new tunnels, taking advantage of the abundant food from roots and young shoots. As food sources increase, herbivores enter their most vigorous period. Gelada troops spread out across the grasslands, spending hours grazing on nutrient-rich young grass shoots. Walia ibex leave their precarious cliffs to forage on gentler slopes where shrubs and grasses are thriving. Mountain sparrows, lizards, and highland frogs also become more active as environmental conditions improve. The abundance of prey quickly brings increased activity among predators. For Ethiopian wolves, the rainy season is the most effective hunting period of the year. Giant mole rats appear on the surface more frequently to feed, making it easier for the wolves to detect and approach them. In the sky, Varro's eagles, golden eagles, griffon vultures, and lammergeiers continuously glide on rising thermals in search of food. Every species benefits from the explosion of life on the ground. The rainy season is also the breeding season for many highland residents. Geladas give birth when the grasslands are most abundant, so mothers always have enough nutrition to nurse their young. Walia ibex care for their newborns on the cliffs when food sources are richer. Ethiopian wolves also prioritize breeding during this period, as the dense rodent populations help raise the new generation of wolf pups. Across the mountain ranges, life is passed from one generation to the next according to the rhythm that nature established thousands of years ago. But then the rainy season gradually draws to a close. The clouds dissipate, rainfall drops sharply, and the dry season begins to envelop the roof of Africa. The green on the grasslands gradually gives way to the golden hue of dry grass. Many small streams dry up, the soil becomes harder, and plant growth slows. Food sources are no longer as plentiful, forcing animals to change their survival strategies. Gelada troops must travel farther each day to find remaining green patches. Walia ibex return to high cliffs, where drought-resistant shrubs still grow in the crevices. Giant mole rats spend more time underground to avoid drought, forcing Ethiopian wolves to listen patiently for every small sound beneath the soil before launching a hunt. Even birds of prey change their habits. Eagles must expand their search range for prey. Griffin vultures and lammergeiers fly farther to detect carcasses across the vast mountains. The dry season's strong thermals allow them to glide dozens of miles with almost no wing beats, conserving energy when food becomes scarce. Not only does the food supply change, but the entire ecosystem's rhythm slows down. Many species reduce activity around midday to avoid intense solar radiation. They forage more in the early morning and late afternoon, while conserving as much energy as possible until the rains return. What is special is that no species exists in isolation. Plant growth determines insect numbers. Insects affect birds and amphibians. Highland rodents depend on the grasslands, while Ethiopian wolves depend on the rodents. When geladas graze, they unintentionally create opportunities for Ethiopian wolves to approach giant mole rats. When an old Walia ibex dies, its carcass becomes food for griffin vultures and lammergeiers. Each link connects to others in a closed cycle. That is the rhythm of nature on the roof of Africa. A single rain can turn the entire highland green. A good grass season can determine the survival of thousands of newborns. A dry year can also change the numbers of many animal species. Over millions of years of evolution, every resident on these islands in the sky has learned to live according to that rhythm. No species can stand outside nature's rules. From the tiniest blade of grass, the large gelada troops, the rare Ethiopian wolves, to the birds soaring in the sky, all blend into a symphony of life, an endless cycle that has created the unique beauty of the roof of Africa. Ethiopia is a kingdom of plants. From elevations of around 4,921 feet to more than 13,123 feet, the vegetation continuously changes with climate and terrain. In a journey of just a few dozen miles, one can pass through many different ecosystems, from moist tropical forests and bamboo forests to cloud forests and frost-covered high mountain grasslands. Each vegetation layer creates an entirely different living world. At the highest areas, above approximately 10,500 feet, Afro-alpine grasslands stretch out, one of the rarest ecosystems on the planet. At first glance, it seems simple, with vast grasslands reaching to the horizon. But in reality, it is a plant community that has evolved to survive in extremely harsh conditions. During the day, the sun shines brightly with intense radiation, while at night temperatures can drop below freezing. Cold winds blow almost year-round, and oxygen levels are only about 2/3 that at sea level. Highland grasses have low stems, deep roots, and grow in dense clumps to retain heat, resist strong winds, and limit water loss. These very grasslands feed thousands of geladas, Walia ibex, and countless rodents, the foundation of the entire food chain on the plateau. The most striking highlight of the Afro-Alpine zone is the giant lobelia. From afar, they resemble palm trees growing in cold lands. The stems can reach 9 to 20 feet tall, topped with a thick rosette of leaves, forming a giant flower-like shape. Each leaf is covered in fine hairs that help retain heat and reduce evaporation. The wonder is that lobelias have developed an almost unique survival mechanism. At night, the outer leaves close like a coat, wrapping the growing tip to protect it from frost. During the day, when the sun rises, they open to absorb light and photosynthesize. Thanks to this mechanism, the plant can survive in an environment where temperatures fluctuate dramatically within just a few hours. Equally impressive are the fields of helichrysum, also known as mountain everlasting flowers. During peak bloom, millions of small silvery white flowers cover the mountain slopes, creating a scene like freshly fallen snow in the tropics. Under the morning sun, the fuzzy layer on the petals reflects light, making the entire slope sparkle as if covered in a silver carpet. Beyond their spectacular beauty, helichrysum plays an important role in the ecosystem. They provide nectar for many pollinating insects and help stabilize the thin soil on steep slopes. A bit lower are the pristine cloud forests, where clouds and forests seem to merge into one. This is a very humid environment. Thick mist covers most of the day, allowing sunlight to filter through the canopy only in small patches. Ancient tree trunks are covered in moss, lichens, and ferns. Long, soft strands of moss hang from the branches, creating a mystical scene like something from a fairy tale forest. Not only do they receive water from rain, cloud forests also absorb moisture directly from the mist. Tiny droplets condense on leaves and drip to the ground, helping nourish headwater streams. Thus, cloud forests are likened to Ethiopia's natural water towers, supplying water to downstream regions. Interspersed among these forests are mountain bamboo groves, where native bamboo grows densely in large stands. Unlike bamboo in low tropical areas, Ethiopian bamboo is adapted to cool climates and heavy rainfall. The tall bamboo clumps form a natural canopy, keeping the space below cool, moist, and temperature stable. Bamboo forests are also ideal shelters for many animals. Birds nest in the dense thickets. Rodents dig burrows under the leaf litter, and many larger mammals use these forests as safe resting places before returning to the grasslands to forage. What is special is that every type of vegetation on the Ethiopian highlands is tightly connected to the others. Grasslands feed herbivores. Cloud forests retain water for the grasslands. Bamboo forests provide shelter for countless birds and small mammals. Helichrysum fields nourish pollinating insects. Giant lobelias become resting spots for sunbirds and many highland insects. No plant species exists alone. Each contributes to maintaining the balance of the entire ecosystem. This diversity has turned the Ethiopian highlands into one of Africa's most unique plant treasures. It is not only the homeland of strange plants, but also the foundation that nurtures all life on the roof of Africa. Before there were gelada troops grazing on the slopes, or Ethiopian wolves silently hunting amid the grass, this fantastical plant world quietly built the stage for the entire highland ecosystem to exist and thrive for millions of years. For millions of years, the Ethiopian highlands were almost protected by nature through their own rugged terrain. Thin air, freezing climates, sheer cliffs, and deep valleys made the area difficult to access. This gave endemic species like the Ethiopian wolf, gelada baboon, and Walia ibex enough time to evolve and survive in a nearly isolated world. But in just the last few centuries, that balance has begun to change. Ethiopia's population has grown rapidly, bringing increasing demands for land, food, and livelihoods. As the lowlands became crowded, people began expanding their lives up the high mountain slopes. Cloud forests have been cleared for timber or to make way for farmland. Valleys have been turned into cultivated fields. Herds of cattle, sheep, goats, and horses appear more frequently on grasslands that once belonged only to wild animals. For humans, it is an expansion of living space, but for nature, it is the shrinking of a world that has existed for millions of years. The Afro-alpine grasslands are particularly hard hit. This is the rarest and most fragile ecosystem on the Ethiopian highlands. These grass mats grow very slowly in cold conditions. If overgrazed or plowed for cultivation, they may take decades, or even longer, to recover. When livestock appear in large numbers, they directly compete for food with gelada troops and Walia ibex. Continuous trampling compacts the soil, reducing its looseness, while overgrazing diminishes the plant's ability to regenerate. At the same time, roads, settlements, and agricultural land fragment the vast grasslands into many small patches. Animal populations that once moved freely are now separated by fences, roads, and farmland. Ethiopian wolves must cross human areas to find new territories, increasing risks of conflict and disease transmission from domestic dogs. Walia ibex lose migration corridors between cliffs. Many small populations become more isolated than ever. A once tightly connected ecosystem is gradually being divided into scattered fragments. But if human pressure comes from the foothills, another even more insidious threat is emerging from the sky itself. Climate change is altering the natural rules of the roof of Africa. Over recent decades, average temperatures on Ethiopia's high mountains have been rising. Prolonged cold snaps have become rarer, while droughts and extreme weather events occur more frequently. For humans, a rise of a few degrees Fahrenheit may seem like a small change, but for high mountain ecosystems, it is an enormous shift. As the climate warms, many lowland shrubs begin expanding their range upward. They gradually invade the Afro-alpine grasslands, replacing grasses and plants that adapted to cold conditions over millions of years. Grassland areas are shrinking. Food sources for geladas are diminishing. Familiar hunting grounds for Ethiopian wolves are also disappearing as vegetation changes, leading to declines in the rodent species they depend on. To continue living in suitable temperatures, endemic species have only one choice: move higher. However, unlike lowland animals that can expand their range for hundreds of miles, residents of the Sky Islands can only move in one direction, upward toward the peaks. And eventually, there comes a point when there is no higher ground left. Biologists call this the escalator to extinction. Each time the climate warms, the suitable habitat for high mountain species is pushed up dozens or hundreds of feet. But mountain peaks cannot continue rising to match the climate change. That upward climb has a starting point, but no destination. When there is nowhere left to move, small populations become confined to ever-shrinking spaces. Numbers decline, genetic diversity decreases, and extinction risk rises with each generation. What is unfortunate is that the species facing the greatest risk are precisely those that exist nowhere else on Earth. If the Ethiopian wolf disappears from Bale or Simeon, there will be no other population to replace it. If the Afro-alpine grasslands vanish, they cannot be recreated elsewhere. After millions of years of evolution, these islands in the sky have created an invaluable biological treasure. But in a very short period of human history, that treasure is facing unprecedented pressures. Despite facing many challenges, the Ethiopian highlands remain one of the most ecologically valuable regions on the planet. Not only do they nurture endemic species, but they also help maintain water sources, climate, and precious genetic resources for all humanity. The Ethiopian highlands are likened to the water tower of northeast Africa. Rains on the mountain ranges create thousands of streams that form major rivers, the most important being the Blue Nile. Water from Ethiopia supplies most of the water and silt to Sudan and Egypt, helping sustain tens of millions of people downstream. In addition, cloud forests and highland grasslands retain water, limit erosion, regulate flow, and store carbon, helping reduce the impacts of climate change. Ethiopia is also the homeland of wild Arabica coffee, the ancestor of most Arabica coffee varieties worldwide. Beyond Arabica, thousands of endemic plant and animal species here preserve rare genetic resources of great value for scientific research and breeding crop varieties that can adapt to future climate change. Every species conserved is an irreplaceable part of Earth's biological heritage. Hope for the roof of Africa is being written through conservation efforts. Through the Ethiopian Wolf Conservation Program, scientists vaccinate domestic dogs to prevent disease transmission to Ethiopian wolves, vaccinate at-risk wolf populations, and continuously monitor their numbers in the wild. Alongside this, ecotourism and community education programs are helping local people recognize the value of nature. Many have become guides, rangers, and direct protectors of the reserves. After millions of years of evolution, the Ethiopian highlands remain the home of unique living creatures. The future of this land will depend on humanity's ability to coexist with nature so that the islands in the sky can continue to be places where life thrives for generations to come. If you enjoyed the journey exploring the roof of Africa and want to help us spread these wonderful stories of the wild world, please hit like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for traveling with SylvaDocs. See you in the next adventures, where we will continue to explore magnificent wildlands and inspiring survival stories of the natural world.